everybody. It's going to be Tech Tuesday. Today we're going to talk about a little Baja 500 recap. We've got a new summer special for you guys, and we're also going to show you this Defender build. But in order to do that, got to go over to Justin Smith.
Thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. You know, it's kind of like a combination of Tech Tuesday and throw it out there Thursday because we're just kind of chatting about all kinds of stuff because honestly we couldn't think about what to talk about yesterday, so that's what we're doing. But we do have a special guest in the house. Todd from Evo is going to show you some of the turbo stuff that's on this Defender, but we're going to get to this Defender and kind of all the things that are on it towards, I don't know, in the next 10, 15 minutes. But first, we're going to talk about Baja 500, our experience at the race, what happened. Pretty simple. We were running the X3 in the Pro Turbo class, or Pro FI, I think, or whatever UT FI they call it. And we had a great 20 miles, and but 20 miles in, I grabbed the brakes way too hard coming into a really sharp corner that was kind of a cliff, and the braking bumps coming into that were 6 inches to a foot tall, so the car just skipped off the top of all of them. And when you do that with the brakes locked up, then it's boom, 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 boof, front diff, blew out of the car. It's kind of something that everybody knows not to do, and I did it, so my fault. And then after we shoved another diff in it at race mile 70. We blew that one up at race mile 135. And we didn't have any panic braking that caused that. We kind of feel like the first explosion kind of damaged the drive line. And after throwing another diff in it, that drive line took that diff out. And we put another one in it at race mile 170, and that one almost failed by race mile 250. We just started turning the four-wheel drive off and running it in two-wheel drive the whole time, just to make sure that they had a diff later in the race for some of the hill climbs, just to make sure we can get up that stuff. So we added about 2 hours of downtime to our race and finished in 8th, which is an accomplishment for our team because everybody busted their ass trying to put diffs in the car in the middle of nowhere when it's 100 degrees. So thanks to the team for that, and we finished. So if you guys have never seen a front differential blown up, we've got a couple of them over on the bench you can take a look at. Come around this side real quick, Josh. So the first diff that we took out, that's this guy right here. And it basically broke the snout off the pinion, which normally looks like that. And when the snout, that front bearing support on that pinion goes, then this pinion ends up kicking sideways. When that's kicked sideways, then it takes the teeth off the side of the ring gear, and that thing was done. Usually when you get teeth flying around in there, then everything else gets destroyed. Second diff, same thing, lost a pinion, blew the side cover out of it. And the third diff is in the car and making a lot of noise, so we're a little bit scared on that one. What you got?
Ramp Rat wants to know how long does it take you and your team to swap out the front diff?
So the first diff was 24 minutes, but we had a full crew at the first pit, and that is super fast. Normally it's about an hour to do a front diff because they're hard to get in and out. You got to take a lot of stuff off to get it out, especially with a smart lock. The second diff change took us about 50 minutes because we were fighting, actually wiggling the diff out. It was kind of like a Rubik's Cube Tetris kind of thing. And sweaty, flies, less guys there. It was all kinds of pain in the ass. But those guys got it done. Everybody got it done before the 1 hour normal time limit for us anyways. Also want to say a big thanks to Matt Burrows, right? Yes. Matt Burrows' team was at race mile 170, and our group that was there, our pit, our team that was there, was the same truck that was at race mile 70 who replaced the diff, right? Well, that was our only diff on that truck. The other spare diff we had was on the West Coast opposite. We couldn't get it to us. So that truck was at 170 without a diff to replace the second one. So went through the pits, and the guys asked everybody in the pits, and Matt Burrows' team's like, here you go. Gave us a diff, shoved it in the car, and off we went. So big thanks to those guys. Also want to thank Trophy Truck 21, which is Ampudia. Is it? Vildosula. Sorry, not Ampudia. So the Vildosula crew, thank you guys. They had stopped to help us out on the pre-run one time, so thank them too. And usually all the racers are awesome no matter what. So thank everybody that was ever kind of pitching in. We had people next to us that were helping too. But anyway, that's Carnage. That's the race. Finished 8th, but at least we finished. Excited and happy about that. Everybody behind you, specifically Steve, and John, they have a couple summer specials that they
Oh, I was gonna say, wait, what?
they had no idea that they were going to be called on the block to talk about. But we have some summer specials, one of which you guys already know about, some you don't know about, right, Steve?
Yes, the one you guys know about is the free rebuilds with the ride improvement systems. But what else are we going to be dropping, John? I will tell you. We are going to be doing, if you spend $1,500, all labor is free. So with that being said, valving and springs on, we'll say an XP1000, you're at about that $1,500 range, so then install labor would be free. So anything on top of that, you want to add sway bars, you want to add radius rods, you want to add a race rack, IQS, RC2s, anything like that, all the labor will be free on that.
So
That was a good clap.
what if,
Wow.
that was actually really loud.
Damn.
What if someone has springs on the car already, and they're bringing it in, they're like, hey, I want to do the shock internals, and I need limit straps.
Okay.
Well, first
Okay.
off, you
What-
get
let's-
you free rebuilds.
So if they're, right, they're doing the internals,
Yes, John,
Yeah.
thank you.
then you get free rebuilds. You're right. Thanks, John.
Yes.
And after that, though, roughly they're going to be at the $1,000 number if they're doing the internals and limit straps.
Correct.
Right.
Yep, you'll be, depending on the car, you'll be anywhere from $1,100 to $1,200.
How much would they be spending in labor at that point? They've got shocks on and off and ride heights
$300.
and $300.
$300 in labor.
And that's the limit strap installation. That's the shocks on and off and ride height set, right?
Correct.
So they're $300 in labor. They need to spend another $500, and they would get that $300 labor for free, right?
Correct.
get
yeah.
more parts.
And get more parts.
And get more parts.
Yep.
So they could do sway bar for $500, and they would get the sway bar installation labor, and they would get the other $300 for free.
Correct. So you're saving a bunch of money. You're just buying product at that point and having us install it for you.
That's awesome. What if someone bought? I'm just
what
it's coming
if?
up because
What
everyone's
if?
going to come up with all
Yeah.
kinds of ways to try and game this, right? There's
Correct.
really no way to game it.
No.
Just spend
Just
$1,500
spend
and you're going to
$1,500, you
get free labor.
Free labor.
What if someone was to buy a complete set of Fox shocks,
Oh.
and then they just kind of bring them over,
They'd get installed for free.
install for free,
Installed
ride
for
heights?
free. Ride heights would be done for free.
all
Installation would be
clickers.
done for free. Everything would be set. You just have to go out and ride it.
And they would get all the free training on how to adjust it from you.
Yep. I'll also give you a shirt and I'll put that on you for free too.
Whoa! I don't think you're
What would-
authorized for that.
What would happen if I bought $1,500 worth of hats?
Then I would install all $1,500 worth of hats for free on your head.
That's a lot of hats.
How about women's apparel, Steve?
I will have somebody else install it for me because I'm happily married, Justin, but we will install that for you as well.
All right. Anybody have any questions on how this free labor thing works over $1,500? Or do you think we covered it?
I think we covered.
All right.
Well,
Back
on
to
the-
your, and you get free rebuilds.
So the one thing on the summer rebuild special is if you do ship us your shocks, we got free return shipping to the lower 48.
And that kind of coincides with also anything purchased on the website. If you buy anything over, if you buy enough things over $800, it is free shipping on the website as well,
Yep.
right?
God,
That's
sounds like
just-
a win-win all the way around.
I mean, the shipping thing's pretty badass, and
Yeah.
the free labor is pretty badass, and the free rebuilds.
Justin, if they were to try and buy something like ours, where would they go?
You know what? Really good question. I know someone who knows.
www.shocktherapyusa.com.
All right, what else you guys want to talk about when it comes to specials?
We've got some special hats, and you'll see us kind of rotate them all throughout the day, so just let us know which ones you like the best.
You got any new ones? This one right here looks like this one right here I think is the newest one, and
And
the
on
leather
Mitchie's
one,
head is
the one
in
on Mitch.
my head.
The leather patch on Mitch, pretty awesome. Yeah, get you some of that.
Yeah, that's right there.
So we have race recap is done, summer specials are done. So the only other thing that we were going to talk about today is talk about this Defender build, which is basically shop car to show you guys some of the things that we work on, some of the stuff that we go and test when it comes to shock packages. As some of you may know, we've dropped our Defender shock packages, Fox shocks, and spring kits for all Defenders. We've got all models of Defenders already designed and tuned, but just to make sure that we have them all nailed, we take them in stock form and go test that stuff. We go do all the valving, do all the spring packages, multiple packages and springs, because some guys are carrying a lot more in the rear. Some guys have, plows or winches or front bumper assemblies on the front for stuff that they're using to work with. Some guys are just going full play, kind of like this thing. Lifted, wheels, tires. They might just be cruising around camp. They might be cruising around town. They might be going through the whoops. Well, we do all of that testing. So our shock packages cover everything that someone's going to do, as long as you let us know what that is. So this one right here kind of embodies a giant list of things that a lot of guys are doing right now. So this Defender, you guys might have to help me out because Can-Am's got so many different designations for Defenders, right? So we also have a special guest here, Todd Zaccone from Evo. Todd's got a mic. Make sure it's up here. But do you know what all the Defender codes are for these things? Because there's a ton.
This one will be an HD10, probably a Limited or a Lone Star or something with HVAC.
Yeah, so air conditioning, heater, sealed cab, electric windows, the whole shot.
Yep.
I think most people know about all that stuff right now, but maybe there's a lot of guys that are like, these things back in the day didn't have all that. Let me turn the key on and I'll play with the windows.
Yeah.
But you can talk about it, Todd.
That's the first Defender I've seen with drop-down running boards.
Well, we were going to get to that.
Okay.
Those are kind of the new trick of the week on this build that we designed, built, and fabricated custom. When I say we, I need to clarify that. Damien over at Side by Side Addicts did most of the work on this thing. They did a great job. If you guys need anything customized, go see them and ask what they can do for you. There's a lot of other really cool custom shops that are dealers of ours too that do a good job. But on this build, it was Side by Side Addicts. So if you take a look specifically at these running boards, these are a modified amp step, because when you get these things up another foot taller, then Mama wants to get inside there a little easier, right? She doesn't need to have to crawl on up. So steps on this, all custom made. Suspension. Dustin Jones over at S3 helped us out with a long travel arm kit, a forward positioning on that to allow for a larger tire to clear. We also went with high lifter portal kit. This is a 6-inch portal. So you can go 8s and 10s, you can go 4s, you can go 6s. So kind of right in the middle of that. We don't normally recommend really tall portals when it comes to suspension and function, but who cares when you're cruising something like this around? Might as well go all the way. The wheel and tire that's on this, we've got an MSA 18-inch wheel and 37-inch tire. Yes, I don't know what it looks like when you're looking on that camera, but they are that big. And they look pretty aggressive too, because this thing's probably gonna go do some rock crawling, a little desert running. Believe it or not, you guys, this thing will run through the whoops, and we have done it, and it runs really well. But when we first started driving it through the whoops and testing, one thing that we didn't like is the loss in power. Well, factory, it doesn't make that much, especially when you start throwing big wheels and tires on it and changing gear ratios. But as soon as you start doing all the other things on this and throwing a bunch of weight on it, really becomes a problem. So we fixed that with an Evo Turbo Kit. And to talk about that, I'm gonna let Todd take over as you are kind of looking at some of the details. The kit is sick. It comes with everything, and it's all high quality, high dollar, stainless and intercoolered. But I'll let Todd jump in on that.
Yeah, so this is our bolt-on stage 1 turbo system. Like Justin said, everything's all made here in Phoenix. Intercooled with a twin fan setup. Installation is really straightforward. This installation takes about 6 hours or so, but 100% bolt-on. And it'll take a stock Defender, which makes about 60 to 65 wheel horsepower to about 100 wheel horsepower. And that translates to about 130
It's like 80%.
horsepower. Yeah, no, it makes a big difference. And I don't know if you know this yet, but we have a stage 2 that's coming out, which is a race gas setup, which I've been testing in the dunes basically all season. And that kit makes about 130 wheel.
Wow.
So,
I mean, I remember back in the day when the first Polaris turbos came out, and that's the same horsepower that those things made factory, and that's completely different, bigger engine and everything.
yeah, these V-twin engines have been really reliable, bulletproof. So yeah, I kind of pushed the limits with my own personal car to see how much it would take. But yeah, that'll be coming soon.
So, so everybody else knows, do you have to go to an authorized dealer for this installation on this kit, or can somebody buy this and put it on at home?
We do have complete installation instructions, so the average consumer who's got some decent set of tools could do this in their garage.
Awesome, that's pretty cool. I thought you'd have to take somebody to, like, maybe prove it once it's on, like it has to go on the dyno to be checked or anything, or no?
Nope, does not have to be dynoed. These are the calibration that we've done for these is pretty straightforward, and yeah, out of the box, it'll do what we say it does.
Now, obviously this is a Defender version, but I've heard you're working on the Polaris stuff too.
Yes, the Ranger is next. I've actually been testing that over the past month. But it makes about the same horsepower stock as this Defender, and with the turbo system makes about the same thing as well. So they'll be very close.
Thanks for going into some of the detail on that. We'll come back to the turbo kit here in just a second, because I'm being reminded that I skipped a whole bunch of stuff on this thing. And I don't want to forget a ton of it. On the inside, we've got a full stereo system. If you take a look up on the headliner, in the seats underneath, we've got full Rockford Fosgate system. It really does thump any music you want. This thing kicks ass. We suggest going the Rockford direction with this, because I don't think that there's another kit in the headliner for these yet. So it may be the only option that you've got. We will be doing custom seats in this, which are just about a week away. So those will match out the vehicle as well. Another thing, I'll turn the wheel real quick while Mitch comes in and kind of points out those tie rods.
You like the tie rods, huh, Justin?
I do. You must, because I saw you cycling this thing the other day.
Oh yeah. So we already have the Defender tie rods ready to go, but this is actually for the S3 arm and the Portal. Which uses a different hub. So we were kind of playing with it, testing it, cycling it, seeing if it could work, and we have notes. So be on the lookout for this kind of exact setup, if you will, if you're looking for
What was
tie
the
rods.
bump steer before and after when you started cycling it?
2.5 inches in it with
Was what it started with?
Yep, that's what it started with. We got it down to I think it was 11/16
11/16
was what we could get out.
How
of
many
it.
tick marks on the tape measure is that, Dom?
11.
11 tick marks?
11 tick marks. Yeah. So pretty cool, because it is a different spindle and everything, so we can still
Yeah, when you start
correct a lot of
stacking
it.
all that stuff up, you've got an aftermarket set of arms. You've got it on a vehicle that might have a little bit of bump steer factory anyway. The arms are going to accentuate some of that. The drop down for the Portal system is definitely going to jack with some of the geometry. And I don't think that to date, really, anyone has built kits or cycled a Portal system to try and get rid of bump, which is just, everybody knows on a Portal system you're adding a lot more stress to everything.
Yep.
And you're going to lose rack and pinions quicker. You're going to lose arm mounts. You're going to lose bushings and ball joints. So
The more you can get out of it,
the
better.
more bump you get out of it, the less that stress is, and all these parts last longer. So it's really important to do it. And we're going to come out with a kit for every version of these, so people can really knock down that extra stress.
Yeah, and even if you're looking for tie rods for like a standard HD10, we have all that stuff ready to go too. So kind of just venturing out. We know a lot of guys accessorize them like this and kind of do what we did with them. So want to be able to provide a product for that stuff as well. So.
Yep. Let's see, lighting on this. We got our friends over at SD Lighting supplied us with their new rear view mirrors, which have a side light and a front light. We've got SD Lighting on the front bumper as well. And what other stuff is on this thing, Mitch or Steve, that you want to point out?
I already talked about the winch.
Wolf
the
Design
bumper.
did the
Wolf
wrap.
Design's the wrap.
Oh,
yeah.
how can I forget that? The loudest thing on the vehicle. It's short of the turbo, right?
Yep.
Wolf Designs did the wrap, turned out bitchin'. It's designed to match something else that's floating around here, if you guys haven't figured that out. PCI, race radios. We've got a full intercom, full radio system. We even have headsets for it. Why would you need headsets inside of an AC deal? Well, sometimes you really want to talk to, not everybody inside the vehicle has to be wearing the headset, right? Sometimes you want to talk to the guy behind you while everybody else is on stereo. So that sometimes can work. We've got a bunch of stuff on here from Geyser Performance, Switch Pros, the EFX tires, which we talked about just a little bit, MSA, Super AT Fever, the drop down for the portals. We've got Black Ops, which supplied ball joints for this complete suspension system, and Rockford Buggy Whip, obviously, best whips on the market on the back of this, and Specialty Coatings, Thumper Fab, XTC Power Sports, and of course Evo on here as well. Oh, looks like a wardrobe change in the background. You guys are like somebody headlining the VMAs or the Oscars, something like that.
Talking about Willis?
Waiting for you guys to change pants and shirts too.
Yes.
A little swap around.
Yeah.
Steve and I might look the same, but
we're going to be different. Yeah.
If you guys haven't figured it out, they're promoting hats right now, but we've always got something we can push around here. So now that I've covered everybody that's got stuff on there, Todd, on this turbo kit, just visually looking at that turbo, it is the tiniest thing I might have ever seen. But
yep.
that's specific, right? You got to size things correctly.
Yes, this turbocharger was sized specifically for this application. And believe it or not, it's actually larger than a stock Razor turbocharger.
Really? It looks physically smaller, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, the hot side, it's actually off of an Audi
Really?
application.
Design.
That's what the base of it is. Yeah, no, the compressor is actually even a little bit larger than the stock Razor turbo compressor wheel.
So what are the things that you try and tune when it comes to turbo 4-engine package? I mean,
Correct.
In this vehicle.
There is, in my opinion, zero lag.
Wow.
Just because it's got a stock compression ratio, so you're not losing anything because of a lower compression engine. So it still feels just like it did normally aspirated with the extra kick from the turbocharger.
Very, very cool. Well, let me shut that. You can go back to the back and look at the muffler that's on it too.
Yeah, this is something we actually spent a lot of time on because I didn't want it to be loud. And I didn't want it to drone in the cabin. And I wanted to, sit nice and high, tucked up underneath the bed.
very clean.
So, yeah, thank you.
I love the cover too. What?
Believe it's right around $5,000.
That's bitchin'.
Yeah.
You can bolt on almost twice the horsepower for $5,000.
Yep.
Duh. That's like a no-brainer. Yeah, that's like it's cheaper than buying another motor, which would get you double the power. I mean, that would be your other option, right? Awesome. Well, cool. Anything else on the turbo kit that we can talk about, Todd?
No, just that's pretty much it. Stage 2 is coming soon.
Power and race gas-ish.
More power and race gas. Yeah.
Very, very cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by and talking about everything on it. You're always welcome. If you guys have any questions about this Defender build or any of the products that we are actually have designed and we are currently testing or supplying or have on the site ready to sell, give us a call. We'll tell you all about it. If you want to try and duplicate your own, we'll give you a list of some of the parts. Make it easy on you. But any other things that you have questions about, contact the guys, man. We got 5 or 6 guys up front that answer the phone all day long just for your questions and sales stuff. So, Steve or Mitch, you guys got any questions while we're out that you want to pop out?
One question for Todd, I guess. How much boost does it make?
The pump gas kit makes 6 pounds of boost.
Super safe. It's not like you're running 12 pounds and pulling a ton of timing out of it or anything.
No, that's for the race gas kit.
Gotcha. Steve, Dom, any questions? Nothing? Good. All right. Well, if you guys don't have any questions for us, then we're going to get out. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully this helped you a little bit if you wanted to build a Defender, and it helped you a little bit when it comes to things that we've got going on in summer specials. So in the meantime, I'm just going to turn it over to Steve so he can send us out and tell you how to do it when it comes to buying parts.
If you guys want to buy any of these sick-ass hats you saw through this whole live feed, go to www.shocktherapyusa.com. Or if you got any questions, just call us 623-217-4959.